Hey friends, welcome to yoga in my living room. Like many of you, I'm practicing social distancing right now and I'm just trying to kind of navigate my way through this weirdness that we're experiencing. There's a lot of really palpable energy and it's giving me a lot of anxiety, like really crippling anxiety that I've been finding somewhat hard to manage. So I decided that having a nice heart opening and side body stretching yoga practice is probably what's best for me right now. So that's what I'm giving you guys. Whenever I feel anxiousness, anxiety in my body, it manifests itself in a way that I find myself slouching forward a lot. It's really hard to breathe. I'm kind of curled inward and it feels scary and vulnerable for me to even sit upright and be open and really give my breath full deep inhales and exhales. So anyway, I'll be challenging myself right now by offering this class and I hope that you guys will find it helpful and beneficial. So like I said, we're going to be focusing on heart openers and side body stretches. Please practice in a way that suits your practice. Modify however you need to, use props if you choose to. And no matter what, just promise to show up fully. Even if you only do a little bit, even if you stop this video halfway through, just show up fully. Dedicate this time to yourselves, to really getting in your body and finding some grounding and some peace here. So we're going to start seated. We're going to start just by kind of calibrating, figuring out what our body feels like and centering our breath. So come to a comfortable seat. You're welcome to sit on a pillow or a blanket if you need to. Sit however you want with your legs and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, I want you to start to bring your awareness to your breath. And you don't have to change your breath unless you decide that you want to, but begin to observe the quality of your inhales and your exhales. Observe the length of your inhales and exhales. Notice the depth of your breathing. Notice if your breath feels shallow and cut off. Notice if it feels full and rich. Notice the parts of your body that expand and contract when you breathe. And then start to bring some movement into your body while you're seated. I like to start in my hips and my rib cage just by making some circles. You can sway side to side. Your circles don't even have to look like circles. They can look more like a figure eight. They can look more like wiggles or scribbles. Move through the shoulders, move through the head and neck. Just notice, observe what areas feel tight. Observe where you feel imbalanced from one side to the next. Observe what feels really good, and if it feels really good, maybe pause and breathe deeper into that space. And then take your hands to the front sides of your shins or knees. When you inhale, pull on your legs to draw your chest through your arms. Look up, breathe in fully. And then when you breathe out, round your chin to your chest, shoulders slump forward, spine rounds. Breathe in, chest forward, look up. Breathe out, tuck the chin, round the spine. One more just like that. Breathe in. Breathe out. Extend your right leg off to a diagonal. Keep the left heel hugging in. And sit nice and tall. You're going to turn to your right toes and fold just enough that you start to feel a stretch on your right hamstring. So this is a straight spine folding forward from the waist. Your hands can rest anywhere that feels useful to you, and we're not going a full deep 100% stretch right now. Keep your right hand planted on the ground and reach your left hand as far back as you can, opening across the chest, like you're trying to stretch your fingertips far apart from one another. Breathe in deep into the left rib cage. Breathe out, close that off, and now fold a little deeper towards your toes. Inhale, sit up. and switch legs. Right heel hugs in, left leg goes out to a diagonal. Turn to your toes, fold just a little bit till you feel sensation, and just notice where you feel it. For me, because of the way that I sit, I usually sit like an idiot on one of my feet. So I'm really tight right here, and this is where I'm feeling this stretch more so than my left leg. Keep your left hand down, open your chest, reach your right arm as far back as you can, draw your fingertips apart from one another, take a full breath in. Close it off, fold down toward the left toes. Come back up to center. We're going to make our way into a tabletop shape. When you get to your tabletop, stack your hips right over your knees, and then shoulders over the hands. I like my hands a little bit wider than my shoulders though. Don't tell the yoga gods. I think they get mad if you don't have proper alignment here. But I'm going to keep my hands a little wide. Knees under my hips. I like to have my toes tucked. Some people prefer the top sides of their feet down. Do what makes the most sense for you. We're going to go through 3 cat-cows here, and I encourage you to find any other movement that feels good. So when you inhale, chest up, tailbone up, full breath in. When you exhale, push the ground away from you, belly button up towards spine, pressing down through the fingertips and the toes. Breathe in, come into cow pose, arching the back, lifting the chest. Breathe out, pushing down through the ground. Do one more round just like that with your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Come to neutral. We're going to come into a supported side plank on the right side. So kickstand your right leg off the mat and extend your left leg straight down. So we've got a side plank here with our right leg supporting us underneath. You're going to take your left arm up for the sky first, opening the chest, and then bring your left bicep in line with your left ear, creating a long line from your fingertips to your toes. So you can stay here, or you can take your left hand behind your head and press your head back into your hand, opening the front and the left side of the body. Breathe in deep here. Breathe out, close it off. Same thing on the left side. So left leg kickstands off the mat, right leg goes straight down. Right hand reaches up first as we find our stability, find your foundation. And then right bicep next to the ear, or right hand behind the head, pressing the head back into the hand. So you should feel some opening here in the rib cage and the front side of the body. Exhale, close that off. And then we'll find downward facing dog from here. So tuck your toes, lift your hips, grip the mat with your fingertips. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but that was cool. Lift your heels, bend your knees, press your hips back like you're pressing your chest towards your thighs. And then find a proper down dog. So heels down, legs are towards straight, core is engaged. Inhale, bend the knees, hips back. Exhale, proper down dog. Inhale, lower the knees to the mat. Shift the shoulders forward so there's a straight line from the hips to the shoulders, and then exhale, lower all the way down. We'll come into 3 cobra poses here. So your toes point straight back, tops of the feet pushing down into the mat. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Number 2. And lower. Last one. And lower. Come to child's pose. Send your hips back over your heels. Rest the crown of your head down on the mat if that's comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you can make a little pillow with your hands and stack your forehead on that. Allow yourselves a few breaths here to rest. All right, let's make our way back into downward facing dog. So hands forward, hips are lifted. This time we're stepping our right foot up to the top of the mat between our hands. When you step your right foot forward, if you notice it only goes about halfway and then it stops, grab for your outer shin and help it up with your right hand. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Walk yourself up to the right thigh. Find your foundation here. Get stable. Get grounded. You're going to touch both palms, reach the arms up overhead. Take a breath in, lift the chest. Keep your chest lifted. Exhale, drop the arms and shoulders down, palms face up. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, tuck the chin, engage the core, round forward. Breathe in, open. Breathe out. One more. Breathe out. Frame the right foot with the hands. Send the hips back. Work the right leg towards straight. I like to pulse it a little bit. I don't like to go right into it. I kind of work my way there. Keep your left hand on the ground. We're going to circle the right arm around 2 or 3 times. And then find a half bind with the right hand. So the palm faces backward. Bend the elbow. Drop the hand down at the low back. Open the chest to the right. Keep the right leg as straight as is comfortable for you. Let's unwind all of that. Make your way back to downward facing dog. So tuck your left toes. Pick up your back leg, step back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet if it feels good. Left foot steps forward. Ready. Lift the hips, left foot forward. Lower the right knee. Find your low lunge on the second side here. Again, taking a moment to find your foundation. Get nice and stable. Touch the palms. Reach up, lifting up through the chest and the rib cage. Keep that lift. The next time you exhale, the arms and shoulders drop down. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, curl it in, engage the core, tuck the chin. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Frame the left foot, send the hips back. Keep the right hand on the ground, make some circles with the left arm. And then find that half bind on the left side. So left palm faces back. Bend the elbow, roll the shoulder onto the back, open the chest. Take a twist, breathe here. All right, left palm comes down, tuck the back toes. Find downward facing dog one more time. This time the right foot's going to step back to the top of the mat where it was before. Coming into a wide-legged stance here. Turn all 10 toes to the long end of the mat and come on up to stand straight here. Give our legs a break from being bent for a second. So for this wide-legged fold, you're going to turn your toes and knees slightly outward. Normally we rotate inward, but we're going to be finding some movement, so I want to make sure we've got a nice outward rotation in our legs. You shouldn't feel any pinching or discomfort in the low back. If you do, definitely give yourself more of a bend in your legs and play with different foot positions that make sense in your body. So when you're ready, from the hips, exhale and fold forward, and then start to just shift your weight side to side in the legs, getting nice and deep in the hips. And then we're going to involve the upper body here. So start to sway the upper body side to side. And this is where we bring creativity and exploration into our practice and really make it our own, really figuring out what our body responds to. So start to drag the arms side to side along with you, using your breath. And then we're going to pause on the right side. So bend into the right knee, sink the hips down toward the right heel, keep the left leg straight. Keep your right hand on the ground. Left hand can stay down for stability, or you reach your left arm open, just like we did in the beginning. From here, we're coming into a high lunge on the left foot. So walk your hands over to the left, spin onto your back toes, come up to a high lunge. Stay strong and active in the back leg, both arms reach up. Press out through your right toes. Notice if you're dumping into the heel. If you are, press deeper into the toes so your back leg activates more. Drop the right hand down the back leg. Loop the shoulder back, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Reach the left hand back as far as you can. Take 2 breaths. On your exhale, engage the core, both hands come down. Frame the left foot, step it back, downward facing dog. Now we're going to go right back where we started. So that left foot steps up between the hands again, left foot forward. Walk yourself back to the long end of the mat and let yourself sway side to side, getting into the hips again, getting into the ribs, the intercostals, those spaces in between the ribs. Before we switch sides, walk your hands forward, as far forward as you can comfortably, and then press your weight back into your heels. So your upper body is kind of suspended, just kind of hanging here. Now bring the weight down into the left foot. The hips sink down to the left heel. Biggie. This is what happens when we do living room yoga. Keep your left hand down. Reach up with your right hand. Open across the chest. We're going to come into a high lunge on the right side. So walk your hands over to the right, bending into the right knee, coming up onto the left toes this time. It's wiggly. Oh. Everything's fine. Reach your left hand back for your left leg. Reach up through the chest, right arm back. Hopefully you haven't been doing this for the last 5 breaths while I've been chasing my cat. Take both hands down, frame the right foot, step back to downward facing dog, pedal out the legs, and then come into child's pose. Give yourselves a break here. Knees come down. Knees can be wide on the mat or they can be together. Hips back over the heels. Rest your head down. From here, come into downward facing dog one more time. Look up at your fingertips and walk or hop yourselves to the top of the mat. So you look forward, prepare to walk or hop, bend both knees, unroll yourselves all the way up, nice and slow. Roll out the shoulders. We're going to do a little bit of standing balance, a little bit more chest opening, and then we're going to cool it down. So interlace your fingers at the low back, opening the chest, drawing the shoulders apart from one another. I've got my right thumb on top right now. I'm going to bring my weight into my left foot, pick up the right knee. Find your balance here. And then come into a bound warrior 3. So right leg presses straight back. Chest reaches forward. The back body is engaged. The chest is lifted. So notice my shoulders aren't falling forward, like slouching forward. I'm keeping everything active and open. Plant the right foot at the back of the mat. Come into warrior 1, bending into the left knee deeply, grounding down through the knife edge of the right foot and facing the short end of your mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come into humble warrior, folding from the waist, any amount. Diving, whoa, diving the crown of the head down. Maybe it actually goes to the ground and you face plant. All right, release the hands down. Right hand goes to the mat. We're coming into that side plank shape that we did in the beginning. So drop the right knee down. Step the left foot back and kickstand the right foot off the mat. So we're back in our supported side plank. This time we're going to build on. So if you liked doing the hand behind the head opening up, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to add a little different hip opener and heart opener, you'll take your left hand for the knife edge of the left foot. Loop the shoulder onto the back so we get our upper body prepared right away. And then press the left foot into your hand and open backward. So my back body is engaged. I'm actively pushing my foot into my hand and breathing deeply into the front side of my body, into the left side, into my ribs. One more breath. Look down at the space next to your right hand. Woo! Put your left foot in that space. Left foot forward, right foot back. So I've got a little lunge here. I can work any funk out of my legs. And then step my right foot forward, Unroll up to stand. I'm going to shake out my legs. Bind my left thumb on top of my right this time, opening the chest, bringing the balance into my right foot, pick up my left leg, reaching the left foot back and chest forward, keeping the back body engaged, staying lifted, and then slowly bend into the right knee. Left foot goes all the way back, warrior one. So right knee is bent, left leg is engaged, everything's facing the small end of my mat. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, fold in half. Don't fold too quickly or you'll face plant like I did on the other side. All right, lower your left hand down, coming into that side plank shape on your left side. So left knee lowers, right foot steps back, kickstand your left leg, right arm reaches up. To find the bind on this side, take your hand to the knife edge of your right foot, loop your shoulder onto the back first, and then push your foot into your hand, open your chest, breathe here. And then look down at the space next to your right hand. Step your right foot into that space, left foot back. Wiggle it out. Step your right foot back, come to downward facing dog, pedal out the feet, and then lower the knees. Come down onto the heels, flip your palms upward. We're going to come into a baby camel pose. Not a full camel pose, we're not going to get wild with it. I don't really feel comfortable teaching or offering a full camel pose via phone if I'm not there in person to help cue you and spot you through it. So we're just going to do a baby camel pose. You'll still get a nice heart opener here, nice core engagement, nice quad engagement. So to come into your baby camel, come up onto your shins. You can have your feet flat on the mat. I prefer to do it with toes tucked. And then find a neutral pelvis. So not a sassy butt, not a tucked butt, but a neutral butt. Bring your hands face down at your low back. Loop both shoulders back. So again, we're preparing the upper body before we even come into the pose. So both shoulders back, chest forward, tailbone is neutral. Anytime you do a back bend or a heart opener, it's not so much folding backward in half as it is your chest going forward and up. That's where we're going to find our back bend. And it's just going to be a little one, so don't get wild on me. So hands down, legs engaged, knees or hips distance apart, core is engaged, shoulders back, elbows toward one another. When you inhale, chest goes forward and then up, like you're looking at a spot on the ceiling. Pause here, take 2 breaths. Exhale, come out of this with control. We're going to do that one more time. While you're in that pose, I want you to know that if your breath becomes shallow or if it feels uncomfortable to breathe fluidly or smoothly, that's your body asking you to come out of it just a little bit. So if you feel like you come into it and you're restricting or you're holding your breath, you might be going a little bit deeper than what your body's asking for. So honor your body. Coming into it one more time. So we prepare ourselves. Knees or hips distance apart. Tailbone is neutral. Core is engaged. Hands at the low back. Shoulders back. Elbows together. We're ready to go. Chest forward. Breathe in. Lift up. Breathe out. Stabilize the core. One more breath. Looking at the spot on the ceiling. And then exhale. Come out of this. Flip your palms face up on your thighs. Sit tall and just close your eyes. Let everything slow down. Let the dust start to settle here. Notice where you feel chatter or energy or static in your body. Notice your heartbeat, the pace of your breath. Notice your posture. How is your posture different than when you started? From here, work your way down onto your back. Let your knees rock side to side. Massage out the low back. Cross your right ankle over your left knee without using your hands. Flex both feet. Draw your left knee into your chest. Both feet are flexed. Upper body is completely relaxed. So I like to imagine someone is pushing on my foot, pushing my knee toward my body, staying completely surrendered in the upper body. And then cross your knees toward one another. Drop your knees over to the left and bring your gaze over to the right. Come back through center. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Again, without using your upper body at all. Flex both feet, super flex. Draw your right knee down toward your body. Just notice where you feel sensation here. Cross your knees toward one another. Drop your knees to the right. Bring your gaze over to the left. Come back through center. Reach your arms and legs up, wiggle your fingers and toes, roll out your ankles, shake it all out. If there's anything left over, get rid of it. Take a big breath in, breathe out your mouth and go. Let yourselves completely surrender here, just melting down into the ground. Remind yourself that you are safe, that you're in good health, that you're supported. Close your eyes. Just follow the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. This is where I'm going to end my practice, but I encourage